Hey, good morning. My name is Mac. I'm with the Michigan Conservative Roundtable, and this is Mac in the Morning, Episode 2. First, I'd like to thank all of our new subscribers, all those who watched our video from yesterday, our inaugural video, and get us rolling, and maybe we can grow and get the word out and help President Trump get reelected, because that's one of our goals. So with that, we're very grateful. And that's kind of the topic of this video today. Ungrateful, black, and racist. And I'm going to talk about three people in particular: Michelle Obama, Oprah Winfrey, and LeBron James. All black, all Americans, and all racist. Two of them, I believe, are black supremacists as such, and one's just a moron. So let's start with Oprah Winfrey. This is a woman who's the epitome of the American dream. She's worth $2.5 billion, a true rags to riches story. Sexually assaulted, homeless, cast off by the family. She built a media empire that's out of this world. She owns her own magazine. She owns her own television network. And she owns Weight Watchers Incorporated. And yet, despite all of this, she cries oppression. Because when she went to Thailand, she didn't get her, how should I say, large derriere kissed properly because the person didn't know who she was. And you'll find that's true with all three of these people. Don't you know who I am? That attitude. She cries that people need to, she talks about white privilege. She's got all the privilege that anybody could want. She cries about how people need to get over their whiteness, and until they learn to hate their whiteness, nothing will ever change. Nothing will ever change? Really, lady? You can't be more ungrateful. Then there's Michelle Obama, the former First Lady. Harvard Law School graduate, Princeton Law School graduate, an attorney, obviously. She's a multi-millionaire. And what's her problem? For 8 years, she had to wake up in a house built by slaves, was her comment, which is not entirely true. Some slaves were used in the construction of the White House, but many people, including some blacks, were paid workers. Yet she sees racism around every corner. She, at a conference, mentioned how white folks running from us. And she uses that phrase, white folks, a lot. And I take that as a derogatory term. She complained about how she moved into the neighborhood and they moved out. White flight happens because not because of your skin color. Maybe 50 years ago that was the case, but not today. It's a behavioral thing. People are always going to move away if every time they turn around, they're being called a racist, accused of oppressing you. People just want to go away from that. They just don't need to hear it. She lives in a $12 million house on Martha's Vineyard. I don't think any of the white people on Martha's Vineyard are going to move out because she moved in. She cried about she was in line with her family, and some white person went right to the front of the line and pretended they weren't there. And she said to this person, "Excuse me, don't you see these four people standing here?" And the woman got out of the line, went to the back, but she didn't say anything. Mrs. Obama, that's happened to me more times than I can count. It didn't have anything to do with your blackness. It had to do with her rudeness. Some people are just jerks. It's not always about your damn skin color. So then we have LeBron James, who, by almost anybody's standards, is a moron. He's got it all. Has almost always had it all. He lives in a $23 million house that makes the Obama home look like a ghetto. But that's not enough for him. He wants to impress the hood rats, the people who are thugs. He hates white people. He hates the police. He has a knee-jerk reaction to any killing involving a police officer and a black person. It's murder, regardless of the circumstances involved, like such in the case of George Floyd. It's been determined that George Floyd was not killed by the police officer, although I would tell you his conduct was horrific. He died because he was all pumped up on fentanyl and methamphetamines. George Floyd is dead because of what George Floyd did. He was complaining he was going to die or he couldn't breathe long before he even got out of the car. He didn't walk around on the court with his hands up, don't shoot, even though he knows it's a lie. He wants to propagate it so he can look good to the ghetto folks. They don't support you. They don't come to the games. They might buy your crap, your jerseys, and your shoes, and maybe that's really the motivation, money. You kiss Chinese communist ass, and if you think that what happens in this country is oppression, wait until you should go live there for a while and see how those people get treated. That's real oppression. So with that, I would tell each and every one of you, take a moment to be grateful for being born on the greatest place on earth in the history of mankind. And we are so close to losing it. And once it's gone, it never comes back. So this is Mac. We'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy. And as we always say, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.